For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone, talking some men's basketball with head coach Joe Golding as the conference season is upon us. It starts at Moody Coliseum on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock tip against the University of the New Orleans. Coach, you go into this game now 11-2 after wrapping up non-conference schedule against McMurray. 88-40 was the final score. How important was it to have a game like that between the Christmas break and the conference opener?
Well, the way we played the first half, I was glad it was a non-conference game and not a conference game, because if we play like that in the first half against New Orleans, we're going to be in trouble and probably not give ourselves a chance to win the game. So it was good to get that out of our way, hopefully, and being able to settle in now and have a couple practices here as we get ready to play New Orleans.
We always say this, if we were 2-11, you'd say, hey, we're 0-0 starting conference play. No matter what a team's non-conference record is, they always say everyone's tied for first at 0-0. But there is something important that you can take, isn't there, from this non-conference schedule? 11-2 doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I told our guys after the game against McMurray I was proud of them. 13 games in non-conference. To me, there's three seasons. There's non-conference, there's conference, and there's postseason. In the non-conference, we did it about as well as we could do it. I mean, being 11-2 and taking our team all over the country and playing, and then obviously playing really good opponents at home and on the road. That I was really proud of them. And that's something that they've set the bar now for the guys that come back next year in non-conference play of what we want to do and what we want to achieve, and to continue to raise the bar in our program. And I said, that's the great news. The bad news is we don't get to take any of these 11 with us anymore. It's over, and we start 0-0. And you've been around a long time, Grant. Now, you and I in this league, that you can throw schedule or records right now out the door. Everybody plays such an unbalanced schedule. There's teams that play a bunch of guaranteed games. There's teams that don't. There's teams that play at home. There's teams that play on the road. There's teams that have injuries. There's teams, it's just crazy that have to travel. And so right now everybody's 0-0. Everybody starts over. It's like Christmas, and you hit the refresh button and you got to start over and go again. If we're 13 games in now in a month and a half and we're in 11-2, it's going to be a different feeling for me. So it's. We got a lot of work. It's a great conference, great coaches, great players. And I told our guys, I said, hey, we're the 8th best team in the league. That's where we finished in March. And now we have 18 games to prove that we're better than that. And so hopefully our guys are up to the challenge. I think they're excited and they're ready to go.
A quick word. Not every head coach has the freedom from his president and athletics director and university to play a schedule like the one you had the opportunity to play. Meaning you didn't have to play a lot of games against teams that were going to pay you essentially to lose. I look at New Orleans, for example. They have the 23rd best strength of schedule out of 351 teams. Most teams in our league have to go on the road and play a lot of those. You played a couple.
Yeah, I think it's we haven't always been that way. We've had our fair share of schedules where we've played a ton of guarantee games, and it's just really tough, Grant, on a program. And I think you look at the programs in our league that have had a ton of success, whether it be SFAs to the Corpuses and Sam's, and there's been others obviously that have a ton of success, but Lamar's, they don't have to go play a ton of guarantee games. And I think it's I just think it's really hard on your team, and it's no disrespect to the schools that have to do it. Some coaches want to do that. Sure. Some coaches want to go play guarantees, and you got to do what you think's best for your program. We played 2 guarantee games this year in Denver and Texas Tech, and then we also got paid to go out to play Pacific. So it wasn't like we didn't go play guarantee games. And for all the talk about people, if there is talk about our schedule not being tough, I disagree with them. I think we played really, really good opponents. I think we played in good home, on the road in difficult environments. I think we played good teams at home. We've been battle tested, and we've just been fortunate to win more than we've lost. And so definitely am thankful for an administration and an AD and a president that want to build a basketball program, but you still got to go out and win those games. And so I'm proud of our program and for being able to go out and do that.
One way to look at it is you played 8 of 13 games against teams at least in close proximity to who the Southland and who ACU would be. I mean, you played Tech and they're Power 5 and they're top 10 in the nation, and you played 4 non-Division I's. You went 7-1 against those other 8 teams. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Well, you hope so, and you hope it's again, it doesn't do us any good anymore. You kind of throw them in the trash and you get ready to play conference play. But again, I think I think Denver's going to be really good. I don't think people know about Denver. They've lost 3 starters since the time we played them. Yeah. They've been struggling with a lot of injuries. You look at SEMO; they had Florida State down 8 with like 10 to play in the game. They got a really good team. A coach, Rick Ray, that's a great defensive coach. Pepperdine, we caught them at a time where they they were really hot and played well. Tech's a top 10 team in the country, and I think a chance to go to the Final Four this year. We played. Help me out. Pacific, who just beat UC Davis, who's a 10-2 or something, and was ranked top 60 net.
Elon from the Colonial.
Yeah. So you go on and on. I mean, I think we've faced good teams, and our guys have been up to the challenge and won games, and so we've won them in different ways. We've won games by large margins. We've also won games where we've had to, we've had leads and lost leads and had to get leads back. We've also won games where we're back. Look at SEMO, 21. League changes, and we're able to take over in the last 4 minutes, and Pepperdine jumped on us, and we fought back in. It couldn't get it. So, again, I think we've played a high caliber schedule. We've played really good opponents, and I think we're battle tested and ready for conference play.
3-2 in road games, 5-2 in games away from Moody. So as we look at this conference opener, New Orleans, they really fit that type of team that you were just talking about. Throw the records out, 5-6. Okay, what doesn't matter. Is it just me, or do you still see, even though so many of those guys from the tournament team that made the NCAAs 2 years ago are gone, don't you still see a lot of the residue from a team that made it to the bright lights of the NCAA tournament? You still see that in that team?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I respect Coach Schlesinger. I've got a ton of respect for him and what he's done there. It's not an easy job there, and he's just done an incredible job with New Orleans. And you look at the last 4 years from the NCAA tournament run to finishing in the top four. I think each of the last 3 of the last 4 years, he's built a culture there, and it doesn't matter the players that continue to come in and the players that leave. They leave a legacy and a culture behind, and that's what good programs do, and that's what we're trying to build here, and he's done that at New Orleans, and I've got a tremendous amount of respect for him and his players. They play with pride for the city of New Orleans. You can tell it means something when they put that uniform on. They're a tough team. They're a physical team. They beat you up. They're so aggressive defensively with their pressure, and again, I just think they have a lot of pride in their program. They have a bunch of winners. They have a bunch of guys that have won games and are used to winning, and I know they think they can win in this league, and so it's never fun playing him, number one, because he's a good friend, but number two, it's just they're so frustrating to play against, and so well coached in what they do, and it always comes down to 1 or 2 possessions late. You look at last year, we led a bunch of the game until about the last 6 or 7 minutes, and then they just took over. Again, they had veterans, and older guys, and they're playing with some younger guys this year than what they've played in the past, but like you said, it's still the same New Orleans, and I would think that they're going to be one of the top teams in league play after 18 games because of what Slush has established there.
We've played them now 5 previous times. This will be the 6th time we've played them. The home team has won each game. We have tended to open conference seasons against New Orleans. And so you always say this. You've said it every year we've been in the league, and even when we were in the Lone Star, you can't overstate what it means to serve at home, can you?
Yeah, you got to win your home games in this league. I think that's what teams that that have gone on and had success. You've protected home floor, and then you got to go out and try to see how many games you can steal on the road. But that's easier said than done. There's just, I think, a lot of parity in our league and such great coaches and players that winning at home is hard too. And so, you would hope. We've been out there the last 2 years. You would hope that playing here in Abilene with our home crowd, that's I know it's better than playing them there. With their home crowd and their floor, that our guys are ready to go and up for the challenge. I told our guys, and our guys understand this. You could tell the respect they have for New Orleans, just because, like you said, we've opened up with them. It's just like they're our old nemesis. It's like you're ready to go, and then you play New Orleans. But I embrace that, and I told our guys they need to embrace it too. But because I think that's the way you want to start conference. You want to start conference playing one of the best teams projected in our league. You want to start conference as one of the most physical and tough teams that you're going to play in our conference play that has that mentality. I think that's the way you want to start it. That's what conference is about. And so, you look at our first week right here. We got 2 coaches that I consider they're known for teams that are tough. Whether New Orleans and Sam. Hooten's, his teams forever have been known on the defensive end and their toughness and just their grit and their physicality. And so we're going to get challenged back-to-back games to start conference play against those type of opponents. And so I look forward to it, and I know our guys are excited about it, and the most exciting thing is we're not on a plane today or a bus. That we're able to practice here and get prepared for conference play.
It's a challenging start to the 2019 Southland Conference schedule. You have the 3 road games following the opener against New Orleans. One last quick thought, Coach. It is probably going to be really chilly, but and the students aren't here yet. if you ever needed the city of Abilene to come out and support your team, this would be it,
Yeah, I
wouldn't
don't
it?
think there's any question. With our students gone, we've been just embracing the community of Abilene, and our guys have been doing a great job over the last couple years of getting out in the community of Abilene. But we need them. This is a time period where we need them to really come out and support them. And we don't really have another home game, like you said, for another 2 weeks. So I just got news from Lance Fleming, our sports information director, that we will have the heat on on Wednesday in here. And sometimes you never know, Moody, if the heat's going to be on or not. But we have confirmation that the heat is getting turned on at 5 o'clock, or 4:30 or 5 on Wednesday night. And so it's going to be warm in Moody. So we would love for everybody to wear a jacket and come in. But once they get in, they can take their jacket off, relax, and drink a Coke and a Pepsi, or whatever. Are we Coke or Pepsi? We're Pepsi.
Yeah, we'll
drink Pepsi, no Coke, grab you some popcorn, and cheer for the Wildcats.
And hopefully it'll be the hot start for ACU. The last time that ACU beat New Orleans, you might remember it. If you haven't, Google it. Jaron Lewis was heavily involved. It was a buzzer beater from half court. The Wildcats would like to put a game like that away a little earlier, but they'll take what they can get. Tough opponent coming in. Conference season beginning Wednesday night, 7 o'clock against New Orleans.